Hey everybody, it's your boy Nathan Crash, and welcome to Bodied by the internet's favorite show. And the format of this show is simple. Basically, I read scary stories from subreddits or creepypasta websites, and then I give it my initial thoughts and impressions and leave it a 1 through 10 rating. You're encouraged to do the same. All you need to do to play the game is basically like, comment, and subscribe. And for brownie points, for extra luck on your reviews, you guys can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Nathan_Crash, where I do this live every now and then, and I also play a lot of scary games. And I don't know, I play old school games. You know, sometimes I play newer games. I'm always up for suggestions. That out of the way, this story is from the Let's Not Meet subreddit, and it's from a user called lilneechiekwe. It's going to be in the description down below. You can also find the link to this story in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. You're more than welcome to. Let's just dive right into this. Alright. The name of this story is called I Was Just Looking for My Cat. It was posted about a couple hours ago. I honestly forgot about this even happening. It wasn't until my cousin brought it up to me one night when we were actually talking about Reddit and the creepy, crazy things that I'd experienced growing up. She even jokingly said that I should post a few here, and well, I guess that's why I'm doing it. I'm 23 right now, and this must have happened when I was 10 or 12. My cousin came to visit me during the summer. I live in a small town, and at the time there probably wasn't even 2,000 people living here. I may not know everyone, but I do know quite a few people in my subdivision. Enough to know that most of them are elderly or parents with kids, so this made what happened so strange. As the title says, I was just looking for my cat. She's not allowed to go out, which has never been a problem other than the one time she ran away for a whole week, and ever since then, she has had a curfew. 9 p.m. just before dusk. In my backyard, there is a football field and then the bush. Just more of a reason to have her inside at night. It was getting late and she still hadn't come in. Of course, at the time, me not really paying attention because I was visiting with my cousin. Before I knew it, it was passing midnight and we were heading to bed. I noticed I hadn't seen my cat and started to freak out. I had looked everywhere in the house and shaken her treats and nothing. I decided to try looking around the house outside and still couldn't find her. You know, I can relate to this quite like alright. I can relate to this an awful lot actually just because JoJo's a little shit and like, you know, he's like supposed to be in by a certain time, but like here's the thing that a lot of you should be realizing, especially in these cat stories. Cats are like real independent animals, so like they kind of don't give a shit half the time. You can want them to come in like early because you don't want them out, and they don't care. They're trying to get out to do hood rat shit with stray cats and their friends. Cats are too smart for us. And like honestly, they look at us like we're just like meat puppets. Cats don't care what you say. They don't care about rules. They're too cool for that. But yeah, I mean, but I can relate to the story already. Like just because I'm like, oh, you know, you're like, oh, my cat hasn't been back, and then you do lose track of stuff like that when you do have friends over, whatever, because you're like preoccupied, and then you're like, oh wait, like my cat's not back. So like this has happened to me like a million times, and I mean, I usually just wait for the cat to show up, but I don't know. I have a feeling she's gonna go out and look for her cat, so this is probably gonna be bad. All right, I went inside to tell my cousin I was going to walk up the street and see that maybe she was in someone's yard. I live on one of the end streets of the subdivision, so there's a curve at the beginning of my street, and as I made my way up the street, I was calling my cat's name out and checking yards as I went along. It was past midnight now, so I didn't expect anyone to be out. But there was this man. He was just standing at the end of Louis Street, which is only the second street after mine. He was just standing there, back facing me on the other side of where the street light is, so I couldn't really see much of him. I didn't think too much of it because I was preoccupied looking for my cat, but then I noticed he had turned and faced right, like completely turning his body to the right and then straight ahead and then to the left. As I was seeing this, I was kind of confused, thinking, what is this man doing? Is he looking for something? And then he turned and faced my direction, and he started walking, which again didn't startle me until I realized that he noticed me and started running. This fool going around and started full out running towards me. I was so scared. I ran as fast as I could, and I could hear his steps getting louder and closer. I was only 4 houses away from my house, so it didn't take long for me to get there. As soon as I got in, I slammed the door and locked it, and just as I did, staring out the door window, heart racing, I didn't see anyone out there. Relieved I didn't, but sort of curious and confused, wondering where this man... Wait, why is that? I was only 4 houses away from my house, so it didn't take long for me to get there. As soon as I got in, I slammed my door and locked it, and just as I did, staring out of the window, heart racing, I didn't see anyone out there. Relieved I didn't. Okay, there we go. That makes sense. Okay. Relieved I didn't see anyone. Okay. Alright. But sort of curious and confused, wondering where this man could have gone, I went to the living room to look out the big window that oversees the whole street. Basically, and nothing. No one. To boot, my cat was inside when I came in. I have no idea who or where this man came from, but I was just looking for my cat. It was terrifying, and on that note, let's not meet again. Alright, dude. Alright. Little Nietzsche. You know, I can't say that I don't relate to this, because if I did have to go looking for JoJo and a dude was like, you know, acting like a Pokemon trainer, like, you know, like an NPC, because that's basically what I picture when he's like standing there. He's like T-posing, and then he's like just changing directions. All right, and then like just like in Pokemon, when he turns and sees you, he gets like the little like the exclamation point over his head, and he's just like, and he starts booking it towards you, and like you did what every Pokemon trainer wish they could do. You just turned around and bailed because you're like, man, you're not worth my time, bro. Like, but yeah, no, honestly, it's scary because it's like, if like a grown ass man just started a full sprint running at me while I was a little kid late at night, like, I'd be pretty scared. I mean, honestly, I can kind of this story kind of relates to. We'll save that for another time. Maybe one day I'll do a scary story, or not a scary story. Maybe I'll just talk about some of the weirdo experiences I've had in my life, because I've had quite a few. And like this does kind of remind me of some of like my like walking out and meeting sketchy people at night, like kind of stories. But yeah, so I can relate to this. This is definitely not a fun experience, especially being like 10 or 12. This is probably like horrifying as a kid, and like especially like I don't know why I picture this guy in a trench coat. Like he's just like in a trench coat and a hat, and he's just T-posing at the end of the street, and then he fucking sees you and he just starts booking it. So like yeah. Like, I'd be pretty scared. Like, can you just pick... And then, like, you're... Like, the thing that's scarier is, like... It's, like, can you imagine, like, you're just, like, a little kid and you're trying to run home, and someone who's bigger and more physically developed than you is, like, chasing you down, so you just hear, like, their footsteps just, like getting closer and, like, gaining on you, and you're just like, oh, shit, like, no, this guy's gonna get me, like, I'm never gonna see my family again, my fucking cat got me killed, like, this fucking sucks. Like, yeah, I can... This was... It's a pretty, like... unnerving situation to find yourself in. So like I give this story a 5. It was a solid story. It wasn't a bad story. 5's not a bad rating. I'd say like below 5 is a bad rating. 5's like passable. You pass in my book, you pass the test. It's not an F, you know. It's like it's a middle of the road horrible experience. Like it's like that's pretty bad, you know. Like if you just like for like shits and giggles you'd just like lied. Well, I mean, look, this is true stories, so like, or at least some of these stories are true. So like, I guess this is like, as far as true stories go, this is pretty bad, like pretty creepy. But like, yeah, it's a 5. It's not like, you know, it didn't chill me to my bone, you know. I mean, maybe it was the grammar issues, but whatever. You know, we don't come to Let's Not Meet for well-written stories. We don't even go to No Sleep for that, because a lot of No Sleep stories are trash anyway. But this is better than a lot of stuff I've been reading on No Sleep, so thank you. See, this is why I come to Let's Not Meet, because at least Let's Not Meet, for the most part, doesn't have me groaning like No Sleep does. Because No Sleep authors think that, well, the stuff they're writing is amazing or something. They think they're the next Stephen King or something, you know. At least here, there's like an air of authenticity to it, or like it tries to be as authentic as possible. So I can always kind of appreciate that. But that being said, I'm gonna go for a 5.5 maybe. If you guys want to leave your review for this story down below and your thoughts on it, go ahead and do that. We can have discussions about it. If there's any stories you'd like to have me read, or any video games or whatever you'd have to like to see me play or give my thoughts on, or even stream, just shoot it in the comment section down below, or you can reach out to me on Twitter at itsnathan_crash. And again, if you're really trying to help your boy out, you could follow me on Twitch and hang out with me sometime when I stream at twitch.tv/nathan_crash. It's pretty good time most of the time. It's usually really lax. I'm not playing games to try hard. I'm just trying to have fun, and I don't mind if I get bodied pretty hard. And that's why it's called Bodied by blank. Whether bodied by games. I just get bodied by video games. I'm not here to. I mean, sometimes I'll put on a persona and be like, yeah, I'm really good at games, and sometimes I'm on a good one. But most of the time I'm getting bodied by games. So if that's the kind of thing you're into, I don't know, maybe tell your grandma about it. Just tell anybody about my channel. That's how we grow, honestly. So thank you guys for the continued support. Thanks for checking out the episode. If you want to see episodes or more content similar to this, again, subscribe and click the bell so you're notified whenever I put out content. I'm trying to put Bodied by the Internet out pretty consistently. I feel like I've been doing a decent job at it. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. I hope you have a good night, day, whatever it is, wherever you are. Just have a good one and try not to get bodied. Alright, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.